Dan Hedrick, and this is Wesley Hedrick.
I'm Jennifer Hedrick, and this is our not-so-tiny house. The thing, so when I
got the party started in the fall of 2010. She's the only customer I ever dated.
Yeah, I ruined his streak.
Yeah, you did.
We actually met at, so the people whose property we live on, at their barn where I board my horse. That's where we met.
And I was her farrier, and we kind of hit it off, and then we started dating, and then we got married.
Yep, a few years later.
Then like 8 years after we were married, we had our first child. It's a neat story.
Yeah, I mean, we got to do a lot of things. And we're not in our 20s, you know, we're not feeling like we're missing out on anything. We're just starting the second part of our family, since Dan already has a son who's almost 19. So he was 18 when Wesley was born.
Yep. I hit the reset button.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm almost done. Just kidding. Our house is 365 square feet. Actually, we built it. Mostly he built it. Plus the laundry room, mudroom space that we have. We're parked in the gorge on some friends' property, which we absolutely love being here. We kind of started this community garden with our neighbors, so I mostly manage the garden, and Cheryl comes and does some weeding every now and again. And then we have access to a shop, which we're grateful for, especially with building this house, as well as we're working on an RV, and Dan's always got projects and works on our vehicles and whatnot. Yeah. We arrived on this property in 2016. We were looking to purchase a home, but unfortunately the market just went out of control. And we can't live in town. We just aren't the type of people that can live in town. So we bought a fifth wheel and we moved out here. We lived in that for 3 years. And then we decided to build a tiny house.
After we got our tiny house project done, my, at the time, 16-year-old son decided to move back in with us. And so we ended up building him his own little bunkhouse. It's 8 foot wide and 20 foot long. It's got a little loft bedroom in it and a nice little study underneath his bedroom. And then he's got a couch for his friends to sit on and hang out and do the things that they do in there. Would you guys like to come on inside and take a look? Welcome. This is our laundry room to the tiny house. It's a freestanding portion. We had this set up here when we were staying in our RV, and it has worked out quite handy as a mudroom, utility room. Keep our winter jackets in here. We've got a wood stove for the cold winters, and
lots of storage. Keep our toilet paper, paper towels, all the excess stuff that we need. We could definitely not do the tiny house without this space. Considering our lifestyle, we're outside all the time, we have horses, we've got mud boots and dirty gloves and dirty shoes, and we have to have a full-size washer and dryer. So between his job and how dirty he gets, and then this guy creating, 10 pounds of laundry a day, this room, we can live without it probably.
Yeah,
not
the additional
in the tiny
space
house.
is much needed here.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's walk into the main living space. Welcome to our tiny house. It is 10 wide by 36 long. We call it the not so tiny house because it's not really that tiny. And, well, in comparison. And all of the pine that we did with all the knots in it. That was kind of why we named it that. All right, let's look at the kitchen first. So the first thing I bought was this huge faucet. I loved this thing until we were about to put it in, and I kind of freaked out thinking it was too big, but I think it worked out pretty perfectly. I had to have my farm sink, of course. We did custom cabinets. We actually just bought them from Lowe's and then painted them this beautiful blue color that we love so much. we did some open shelving. So we had to buy nice dishes that everybody could look at. And then I had to have the black stainless steel. I clean houses for a living and I absolutely hate stainless steel because every brand is different in trying to get fingerprints and everything off of them. So this is pretty much perfect. We went with the narrower microwave so I had more space for my cooking area. We had this island custom made, specific measurements, depth of drawers in the cabinets. I wanted the butcher block top unfinished so I could actually just cut food on it. Although Dan, if we could go back, he would have built it ourselves. It's not really as well built as we would have liked. A little bit of a lump in the top of it, and the cabinets don't close all the way, but you know, it's still cute. We went with well, I'd say it's an apartment-sized fridge, so it works pretty good. This does kind of inhibit some of the space because the handle is on the outside instead of kind of a handle on the bottom portion of the door or something. We have quite a bit of storage in the cabinet here for food. Obviously the refrigerator and then some of the dry goods on the top. We also have the Lazy Susan, which we joke is a tattletale Lazy Susan because if you keep snacks in there, everyone knows when you're getting into it. This is a huge amount of space in comparison to the fifth wheel. We actually had to put like a cutting board over half of the sink so that we had more counter space to cook. It was pretty awful cooking in that, although I did it often. It also didn't have a dishwasher, so. Yeah.
Living in a tiny space has saved us quite a bit of money, and we were able to do a lot more travel experiences that we wouldn't have been able to do if we had a conventional home with a large mortgage. So that part's been really nice. The smaller space is quick to clean up, so you don't have a day of cleaning like you do if you have a 3,000 square foot home where you got to go from top to bottom and all of that. So
and
that
you just have to keep it clean.
Yeah.
Because you have no other choice.
Yeah, no other choice. You do your dishes after every meal and things like that. So it keeps you on your toes.
The dishwasher does the dishes after every meal. Just teasing.
Do know how to wash a dish.
He does.
And occasionally I do one. So she knows I do know how. We do pay rent, staying on our friend's property. It's reasonable though, and that also has helped us, you know, with our lifestyle and being able to go and do things because the house is paid for and the rent payment is not terrible.
Yeah.
So it allows for a little bit more fun activities, and also we get to save some money for the future, and that is very important, so that way you have something that you can fall back on.
And we love being here. We do a lot of things with them. We do what we call happy hour, probably like 3 or 4 times a week, where we just go up there and visit and hang out and talk about the same things we did the day before. And, you know, it's fun. It's easy. It's simple living, I guess. We pay $350. I think Dan upped it to $400.
It's $400 a month is what we pay for rent.
We had to up it because they never did. So Dan decided to up it. Pay our own power, and we split the water. We
split the water bill because we are on a
and then we pay our own
water.
Trash also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now for a brief message from our sponsor, HelloFresh. Do you eat?
Boy, howdy.
Well, cooking a variety of meals can sure be inconvenient and expensive. Fortunately, HelloFresh is here to help. Their recipes really are foolproof. By following their simple step-by-step instructions, it's made cooking over the past week so stress-free. I'm loving how much time I'm saving in the kitchen with meals ready in around 30 minutes or less. And guess what? HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than grocery shopping or dining out. And you know what makes that even better? HelloFresh is the first carbon-neutral meal kit company, and nearly all the packaging is recyclable. Go to HelloFresh.com and use code TinyHouse16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts. That's HelloFresh.com and use code TinyHouse16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 surprise gifts.
So this is our living area, and we went ahead and left one of the trusses exposed. We made some brackets out of steel and stained the wood so that way it was kind of a little bit more noticeable with the lighter ceiling. Kind of gave it a little bit of flair or pop or whatever you'd like to call that. Over here we've got ample lighting that comes in with the numerous windows that we put on the side of the house. My wife did a really great job of kind of helping me decide how to trim it out. I really like the dark wood above the windows. It does look kind of like a beam. Not really a beam, but it looks kind of like that.
I call them faux beams.
Over here we have the wall that separates the bathroom from the living area, and we decided to use the knotty pine there as well. Brings out a lot of the nice colors and get the different textures of the wood. Yeah, I didn't know it was going to look quite this rustic, just from the other woods that I've seen that were also called blue buggy pine. They just didn't have as much character as these do, so I was pretty surprised when we started opening the bundles and wow, it was fantastic.
The space has changed a lot with having Wesley. We actually didn't have any of this furniture before. We had a couch here, and that was pretty much it that was in here, and this cart. But it was a lot more spacious. Although this works pretty good. I am a little concerned. He's crawling and pulling himself up on things, so I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna handle these being so close to each other and this couch being up against the island. I joke that we're gonna have to get bean bags and live on bean bags. I made sure we got a dresser that we could use as a changing table, since obviously we have limited space. We have some storage under the crib. I got bins to store, and then a little bit stored under the dresser as well. And then the rolling carts help with other baby storage and books and all the other things you need with a baby. We did splurge on the crib. This one was a bassinet that was on wheels, so I could have it in our bedroom or out here. And then you just add these long sides and then get the mattress for the crib. And then this comes off and you just have a little half wall type thing or half crib side that you put on for the toddler bed. So we get 3 in 1. All right, let's go down the hall to the bathroom. So we decided to do a barn door on the bathroom. We picked this door and the bedroom door, as well as the transom window, up at a place called Aurora Mills. I actually started stripping these, and it was such a pain. So I ended up doing partial stripper on it and then sanding it. And this is actually all original. I just clear coated this side of the door. The other side has some other colors on it, which is kind of fun. We also have storage space above, since we did a lower ceiling in the bathroom. So we have quite a bit of storage. We keep our suitcases, our seasonal clothing, medicine, some of the extra stuff that we need in the bathroom up there. So we did a larger shower. Dan needed the largest shower. We're going to do glass in it, but we just couldn't quite find what we wanted to do. Plus, after the fact, we decided we would have rather had the shower head on that side, so we could have done just like one piece of glass and a walk-through, but now we're kind of stuck with what we have. We have this really cool mirror with the lighting in it, so it's kind of nice. It makes you look really good when you get ready in the morning. I try not to look at myself after that. And this is actually just IKEA, and I love it. It has 2 big drawers and lots of storage. I can store items under it. Since it's a shower, here's Wesley's bathtub, which he loves. Every night when we get ready, he crawls in here, clothed or not clothed, and he's ready to take his bath. It's really cute. Somehow I got really lucky and this window fit perfectly between the shower. So I don't know how I got that lucky, but I did. We did a wall-mounted toilet. I have a friend who worked for a plumbing company, so we actually were able to get this on a deal, basically the same price as a normal toilet. But again, I clean houses and I really hate cleaning the bottom parts of toilets, so this, all you have to do is mop. So I love it. And also, this is how you flush it, which is kind of funky. We also used that cedar fencing on our ceiling. We just stained it a little bit different color, and then we did the trim in the bathroom with cedar as well. We also put in the air vent, so it's a light, it's got the fan, and then it also has heat, which is really nice when it's cold and we don't have the fire going, or we didn't have it going most of the day and you need to take a hot shower.
Oh, it would have cost us a lot more if we didn't have the network of friends and customers that we do have. It would have been substantially more money to build it. It would have taken more time as well because we did pay for it as we went. Kind of not a big fan of being in debt. So that's part of why it took a year and a month to build it. So we're very fortunate, though, that we have a lot of great people in our lives that were helpful in our accomplishment of our dream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it cost us $37,000 approximately. But yeah, we got a lot of things free through friends and help through friends and discounted things through friends. So we were very, very lucky. Well, we are having another baby. So the tiny house, or the not so tiny house, is getting tinier by the minute.
Yes, it is.
So sadly, we might need to part our ways with our tiny house, which really sucks because we do love it a lot. I mean, we put a lot into it. Every little piece of it was one of our ideas, you know? So.
And actually, the living in the smaller space is very enjoyable once you get accustomed to it. You don't have a lot of excess things that you don't need. Things that you do have around have to have more than one purpose. So that part of it, once we adapted to it, I really like that. It doesn't take a whole lot of space to actually be comfortable and live. I'm gonna miss that part of it, but at the same time, it's gonna be too much of a challenge to try to raise two children in a 10 by 36 foot long building.
Yeah, it's challenging now. I mean, it has its perks. I mean, I just close a couple doors and
you always know where he's at.
You know where he's at always. And there's not a lot of things to baby proof. This is our bedroom. So we decided to do the doors with the windows kind of as our windows in the bedroom, and it's really nice view every day outside. In the summer, often I like to leave it open. Gosh, there's so many things in here. This light, I was telling Alexis, this light took me forever. I ordered the actual light fixture, and then I probably went to Lowe's 15 times changing out bulbs to figure out which bulbs looked good. But I just had this vision of this light fixture, and so it worked out pretty well. Dan actually came up with the idea for our headboard, and then we did these, I guess, freestanding nightstands with the baskets so we can put our books and the remotes and phone chargers and whatnot in there. We did a bed that has storage underneath, so our drawers are underneath the bed, which is really handy. Then we have a really great sized closet. We have a hidden compartment that keeps our shoes, mostly the ones we never wear. I did have a curtain up here, but that just didn't last long. It was kind of in the way, and I think it looks great as long as you keep it semi-organized. We also did this hat rack where I can keep our hats and purses, well, my purses, and all it is steel. Dan painted, and then we added hooks. He welded some hooks on there, so this is really handy. It's one of my Pinterest finds, and I love it. There is some storage above the closet as well. We keep our bags for taking trips, and then purses, whatever else, up there. So yeah, that's the bedroom.
As far as selling the tiny house, we don't have a timeline or a time frame, but if someone is interested, they can get a hold of Jen via Instagram or an email or what have you. This is also new. We just recently found out a week ago that we were going to have another child, so we're still letting it soak in what's really happening. So again, we're not in a tremendous hurry, and if someone does have an interest, though, please feel free to reach out.
The thing about it for me is just having a simpler life. I feel like our lives are just so busy, and there's so many things to think about and so many things to pay for and to do and responsibilities, and it's just nice to have a smaller space. It's simpler. We get to spend more time outside, especially in the summertime. We're literally outside all the time. We cook in here and we eat outside, or we cook outside and eat outside. We were renting a 4-bedroom home, and that's great. It was nice, and we had a shop, and it was nice, but it was on this little teeny postage stamp of a piece of property, and it wasn't ours, and this is ours, and it's simple, and I love it.
The nice thing about a small space, you have to talk to each other a lot because you're constantly passing by each other. So
there's no getting away from one another.
So
and I'm kind of sometimes reclusive. Like, I like my alone time, which I don't get anymore, but that's okay. It's good to do new things.
Love grows best in little houses. It's quite nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching our video and for stopping by Tiny House Expedition. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And for more tiny home tours and stories, click the videos below.
And join us on Instagram for bonus content,
including face-to-face conversations with us. We hope to see you there.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one.